Hello everybody, I am Mantas from EnovaPoint, and today we'll talk about merging your Word and PowerPoint documents using small parts. So before we begin, a little piece of advice from me to you is keep all your templates and all your small parts in a separate location. For me, that would be a subsite called templates. So let's go ahead and go there. On the left hand side, you can see 4 different document libraries. The top 2 we're going to be using for the creation of our PowerPoint, whereas the bottom 2 we're going to be using for the creation of our Word documents. So before we really get into the process, we need to understand what small parts are. So let's go ahead and take a look at this document library right here where I kept the small parts for our Word document. You can see 5 separate folders, each containing a particular amount of documents. So for example, this one has 3, whereas this one I think has 2. There we go, we have 2. And small parts are these documents that you can later on combine. So for example, if I wanted to take information from this document and also maybe this document right here, I can actually do that by using small parts. So to get started, we need to first go over to the proposals library, or at least I do, because that's where I want to create my final document. So I'm gonna head on over to the document library called proposals. And here we go, we are in the document library called proposals, as you see right here. So let's go ahead and open up JungleDocs from the ribbon like so. Once it opens up, it takes us to this page right here. On the left hand side, you can see where you are. You can see the location. We're under proposals. That's where we want to be in this case. And here you can see a set of rules that you created. As of now, we only have the default rule because we haven't created any. So let's go ahead and create the first one by heading over right here to where it says new rule in the top right corner and clicking that. This actually takes us to a page where we can see all of the rule settings. So you can see the destination of it, right? The location where it's going to be saved. You can see the rule display name. And for us, both of these so far are completely fine. What we want to change though is we want to change it to a custom template because I had already uploaded that to one of the document libraries that I showed you in the very beginning. And let's click on that. Let's find the template. So there we go, under sales templates, standard proposal. That is perfect. There we go. Let's click OK. And you can get a little preview there. You can even zoom in if you want to. And right here where it says small parts library location, that's where you want to click browse and find the small parts that you actually saved. So if you remember, we saved them under small parts, right? A document library called small parts. So it's selected. That is perfect. Let's click OK. And what we're going to do now is actually click on this where it says edit document template. And this will open up the template, and we can then use the sample document to actually drag and drop the information that we want to be contained in our final document. And I'll take you through this right now. So let's go ahead and open this up. So there we have it. This is the template. It's blank as of now. And to put in the information, we're going to want to open up the sample document. So let's move this aside for now and click on where it says generate sample document. So here we go, we get the sample document open. These are all the placeholders that you can use. And for now, let's say I want to use the small part 1. So that will be the folder called introduction. That's where the file is contained that I want to use. So let's drag that into here. And then maybe we want to, let's say, charts, right? Let's use charts or comparison charts. I don't know. Well, let's say it's comparison charts, right? That's what we want. So let's drag and drop just like that and then save it. Once you save it, it's actually going to update automatically. So that is perfectly fine. That is done. If you want to automate your column naming, or maybe you want to automate the file naming, you can always do that. So for example, I don't know, P, that is completely fine. And then let's say separator, let's add a date, shorter format, and another separator, and then maybe a sequence to keep it nice and neat. And well, we don't have to do anything here, but you can of course set the column automation as well. So everything looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and actually save this rule now, and we can then generate the document. There we go. As you see, it says successfully saved, and we get the rule right here popping up. We can click that, and we're going to be able to actually pick out the information from the folders that we actually want. So if you remember, these are the two documents that were within that folder called introduction, and these are the three documents within the folder called comparison charts. So for example, let's say I want the JungleDocs quotation, introduction, and then the JungleDocs version comparison chart. Let's click that, and this is actually going to create the document. Once we create generate document containing the information from these two documents. So let's go ahead and click this. Alright, so this opens up a little table where we can check if everything is right. The title is perfectly fine. I think it's a bit long, but I think it'll do for this example. Then we have the file naming automation working perfectly. And the customer, let's say Conto, so why not? And let's click save. There we go. As you can see, it's right there, the long title that we just saved. So let's open it up and see what we actually got. Alright, so there we go. We have the introduction and we have the comparison chart, all looking very neat. Everything is right here, everything we wanted. So that seemed to be working just fine. Now let's go ahead and check how this works with PowerPoint. Okay, so here we are in the presentations document library where I want to create my PowerPoint using the small parts. So once again, let's head on over to the JungleDocs app from the ribbon, open it up, and create a new rule. Of course, you can edit an older rule if you have that. In this situation, I want to take you through it step by step. So I'm going to go to new rule in the top right corner once again. And in this situation, I want to rename the display name just for my, just suit my personal needs. So right now, I'm going to pick the name that's more suitable for this, which would probably be something like presentation. So let's go ahead and change it to that. There we go. And once again, click custom template, find the template that you have uploaded to a folder. So for me, that would be presentation template. That's fine. Click OK. And once again, pick the small parts by clicking browse. And right there we have it. So let's click OK. Perfect. So everything is in place. And right now, we just got to go through the same steps as we did last time with the Word document. So we go to Edit Document Template and open it up. And what we want to do now, once again, is put in the information that we want to have in this presentation. So let's go ahead and do that by opening up the sample document. So let's move this aside for now. Click on where it says Generate Sample Document once again. And then once we have it open, what we want to do is actually not drag and drop, but this time we want to copy and paste these little parts into the title sections in the presentation like so. So there we go. I'm just going to move that down a little bit to make it a little bit nicer. There we go. And then maybe for this, I want to use, let's say, features. There we go. And then something like an overview. So I copy and paste this as well. There we go. Now let's go ahead and save the template and then go back to the rule page. So here we are back at the rule settings. And what I'm going to do now is, again, I'm going to automate the file naming just for my own personal comfort. So again, let's call this something like PowerPoint presentation. There we go. And add a separator, the dates, shorten the formats, another separator, and then a sequence to keep it nice and neat. So there we go. And we can also automate the column naming as well. So for example, the title column would have to be something like, in this case, probably presentation again, but I feel like we've used that too much. So let's just say PowerPoint, or maybe Jungle Mail presentation, since that is what it's going to be about. There we go. So I think that we have everything more or less set up. It looks all right. So again, let's click save and see what we're working with. There we go. We have it on the left hand side right here. We can click on it and we'll have the option to choose what we want. So for example, I want the About Us section, and I want all of the features to be in the presentation, and then probably some of these. So for example, this one right here, security and architecture. Okay, now let's say I want to reorganize the way that these are laid out. For example, I want these to go in the order that you actually experience them when you open up the Jungle Mail app. That would not start with the email preview. That would actually start with the recipient selection. So for example, if I want that to be first, I can drag it over there. If I then want something like the template selection here, I can rearrange that. And well, I think you more or less you get what I'm trying to say. You can actually rearrange these by simply dragging them around, and that's the way they're going to be laid out in the PowerPoint presentation. So now let's click Generate Document and see what we actually got. Here we are in the same page again, where we can check if everything is just the way that we want it. In this situation, it is. Seems fine. The automation seems to be working. So let's click Save. And we actually have it appear right there. So that looks fine. Let's go ahead and open it up and see how it actually came out. And here we go. This is the presentation we just created with just a few clicks. So there we go. We have the About Us section. We have all of the features just the way that we arranged them. It all looks great to me. And really, we're set to go. We're ready to present this. We're ready to give the presentation. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you found this helpful.